this week we are highlighting algorithmic questions as our digital content feature. What are algorithmic questions? Well, those are questions where there's a value inside of the question that is variable and can change for each student's version of the question. You'll find algorithmic questions in our test bank for calculus for the AP course 4th edition, as well as in our Achieve courses for the quantitative disciplines, statistics, calculus, and physics. Let's take a closer look. First, we're going to start with the test generator. I'm going to pull in the algorithmic questions from the calculus question bank. You'll find those in this one folder here. There's 10 questions per chapter, 20 questions for chapter 6 because chapter 6 is broken into 2 parts. So let's look to see how these work. Now, within this question, this equation, and this second part, what is true for the limit of f of x, this is the algorithmic portion, the variable. So this portion of the question, as well as the answers, will be different for each student, or I should say they can be different for each student. There is a slight chance that 2 students get the same exact version of the algorithm. Anyhow, you can tell this question is algorithmic by using this button inside of the question set tools. I'm going to click on that button and notice it's reloading. And this takes a second here, but these numbers 9, 42, 56, and these numbers within this question, as well as this question below, they're all going to change in just a second. Now you see different versions of this. If you were to add any of these questions to a test and print multiple versions or export multiple versions, the variables will be different in those different versions of the test. So there you have it, a look at algorithmic questions within the test bank. Now let's move over to Achieve. So within Achieve, you can find algorithmic questions within the question bank for our quantitative subjects by going to the question bank, coming over to the main parent category of questions, and if you hit the filter, you use this has variables filter. When you do that, you'll notice if we hit the yes button, of these 4,600 or so questions, 1,585 of those are algorithmic. If we click on one of those algorithmic questions, let's just click on this one right here, you'll notice there's a sample variable sets button in the bottom. When I click on that, you'll see these numbers within the question, and the answer and any solution explanation will all be changing specific to the variables, the values in that version of the question. So for calculus, within the test bank inside of Achieve, about 33% of the questions are algorithmic. If we go over to physics, let's open up a random assignment, say 3-6 homework assignment right here inside the physics course. You'll see that some assignments already have algorithmic questions within the pre-built assignment. You'll see there's a column here for has variables. If you don't have that column visible, you can always hit edit columns and check that box for has variables. I'm going to click out of there. But within this question bank, if we were to click on any of these questions, you'll notice same thing. Hit sample variable sets, that number within the question is changing. If you want to see how many questions are algorithmic within the physics bank, just do the same thing we did for calculus Achieve. Go over to the question bank, hit the filter, has variables, hit yes, and we'll see that of those 1,700 questions, over half of them are algorithmic.